Welcome to Sounds of Sud. I'm your host, Jasmine. This podcast is for all the music lovers and anyone that wants to learn more about working in the music industry. Bringing you interesting insights and wild stories from DJs to festival organisers, we talk to all of the people behind the scenes that make the magic happen. So make sure to hit subscribe and I'll see you on the dance floor. Welcome, Bella Backe, to Sounds of Sud, the podcast. How are you doing?
I'm super good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming over. Welcome. How was your weekend just gone?
Good. I was in Newcastle last week. It was the first time I was there, and that was amazing.
Ever or performing?
Yeah, ever. Yeah, we had never been there, and we went for the long weekend, and it was just such a good time.
Yeah, one of my good friends lives in Newcastle, so we haven't actually been for a long time, but we go up there every now and again. It's always nice. It's actually got quite a good nightlife scene, to be honest.
Yeah, really
better than you'd expect.
Yeah, 100%, and really beautiful. Like, we just spent the day after and just explored, and it was really, really nice.
Yeah, nice. Well, I'm glad you had a good weekend. So I've invited you over here because, again, a Sydney-based DJ, but obviously you are not Australian. You are from
Sweden.
Yeah. So I've been dying to say it since you walked in, but I didn't want to ruin it. But I was like, my best friend is Swedish.
Oh,
yeah, my best friend here in Sydney, Hannah. And how long have you been in Australia?
I've been here almost 5 years now. In September it will be 5 years.
So what year was that? That was 19.
Yeah,
just before COVID.
Yeah.
Oh,
just
wow.
before COVID.
What would that would have been?
Oh, it's been crazy. Like, life has been crazy. Like, since moving here, it's just been such a roller coaster, but like in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
I think, coming here, and then it was like full backpacker life. You know, in the beginning, you didn't, like, I was never planning to stay here, really.
Well, no, as we were just chatting before we started recording, neither was I.
Exactly.
That's just the way it goes, I think.
Yeah, you just come here, and I was just like, okay, maybe I'll stay for 6 months or something, and we'll see how it goes. And then, obviously, COVID came, and I had met my partner at that time, and then it came to the point where everyone was leaving the country, and all of our friends. So we were like, okay, either we try to stay in Australia and we do the whole farm work process, or we go back and we don't know like what's gonna happen. So we stayed, and then we had to do the whole farm work thing.
Where did you do it?
Oh, everywhere. It felt like everywhere. Like, because I seriously called like 200 farms, like from a book, you know, when you find these old books, because no one wanted to accept people at that time because of COVID.
Yeah, they were scared. Yeah, it's funny because I was the complete opposite. I think because I flew into Darwin, I was just instantly more connected. I got told of a couple of Facebook groups to advertise, and they wanted a couple of backpackers to go down to a cattle station.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lift straight. Honestly, I did my farm work 2 weeks after I got here.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to make friends in Sydney and do all this and then have to leave. And I heard how hard it was. Yeah. So I just went straight away and did my farm work. At a cattle station. That's where I got him.
Yeah.
You know, all those years ago. And it's just funny. And then, long story short,
that's perfect.
I'm still here. Yeah. And so your boyfriend is from
Spain.
Okay, cool.
And we met here, yes.
Did you both speak English when you got to Sydney?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Because I have friends that didn't speak English when they got here.
I know.
Crazy.
So many. But yeah, I think living here just makes it, practice makes it perfect, you know?
Yeah, 100%. So my best friend, she's amazing, and 90% of her English is correct, but every now and again she'll just say things and it's not wrong.
Yeah.
It's just a really interesting way of saying it, you know? And I absolutely love it. I find it so, it really makes me laugh, but I'm not taking the piss. I'm just I just enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's really charming.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're obviously DJing. Are you doing that full time? Have you still got another profession?
Yeah, so I am a dancer as well.
Oh.
So that's where I'm coming from the start, dancing since I was a kid. So I've always been performing in that sense, but doing professionally dancing for 9 years now. But then I'm now doing DJing full time.
Wow.
So I'm mixing all the creative things.
Yeah, that's it. But that's kind of it makes sense though, to be honest, how you end up, if you start doing one thing, how you stay in that kind of bubble. Yeah, tell me more about the dancing. So you did that 4 years before you came to Australia.
Yeah, so I'm from a small town in Sweden, and then I moved to Stockholm straight after I graduated. Went a dance education for 2 years, and then just been freelancing ever since I moved to Stockholm, basically. working with different artists, dancing behind artists, like music videos, doing musicals, all that jazz.
So always in the kind of like, so you've been familiar with the DJ scene for a long time then? If you're dancing behind artists, is that what you mean?
Yes and no, because in Sweden we don't really have the electronic music scene in the same sense that we have here. I have not been doing like dancing behind DJs before, just like different artists that's been singing and stuff. I was choreographing for an artist in Sweden that's my friend. And I love that scene, like working with artists and in the music industry in different ways and stuff. It's just that I never come across like the DJ industry like this. I've had a lot of friends that's been DJing, but it's mostly been like hip hop, R&B, Afrobeat, Amapiano vibes. And I feel like in Sweden that's very in at the moment. Like everyone's playing Amapiano and like the Afro house is getting their scene there. So I thought originally that I was going to be DJing that, you know? Like when I started, I was like, okay, like everyone's expecting me to do hip hop, R&B or like Afro vibes, which I love. And I still want to get into that. But I don't know, I fell in love with the house music here. And like I feel like the electronic scene in Sydney or in Australia in general is just so much broader, you know, than what we have in Sweden.
And what kind of places did you go to, like, when you first, like, obviously if it's not a huge part, like for me, I've been going to that kind of stuff for like a really long time. So as soon as I got to Sydney, I knew what I was looking for kind of thing. Whereas for you, you've obviously discovered it. Yeah. If it's not, so what did that look like?
When I first moved here, I started going on all these like Afrobeat events by myself.
What's like? I know the music and I love it. Yeah. What do you mean? Like, as in just going to the events?
Yeah. So I used to go to clubs by myself, but especially the ones that had like Afro and dancehall music, and people were just there to fully vibe to that music. It's not to go there to get fucked up, you know. It's just to enjoy. And I was just getting to know everyone that was there, coming home like drenched in my own sweat because we just have been dancing like so full on the whole night, and that was so fun. But I think then meeting more and more people, just started to go into different scenes. Like I started going a lot to like different reggaeton clubs, which I'd never been to, and all the Latinos, you know, that just keeps like singing and everyone knows every song basically. And then it was going into different like house and like more electronic music. And to be in the beginning, like I've always like hated, like I thought everything sounded the same back in the days. I was like, who likes techno? Like I was gonna say, sounds the same, you know what I mean?
I feel the same about like hard techno.
Yes.
I still don't really vibe it. I do like, I enjoy techno, but that real hard stuff, I'm just like
Yeah, same. Like I'm not vibing with that hard right now either as well, but compared to what it was a few years ago, I thought all the electronics sounded the same.
Yeah.
So then I had an experience when I went outside and I was like, wow, this is like so much soul into this, or like so much groove. And then I started loving that. And every time I was like searching new songs and finding music, I was always going into the electronic music scene.
Wow. And and then what would you, obviously I have like a lot of respect for people who go out by themselves, and I'm at an age and a point in my life now whereas if there was something I wanted to go to and no one wanted to come with me, I would definitely go by myself. But what would you say to people about like going to events by yourself?
I think 100% go for it. Yeah. Like I love that. I think nowadays it's not something that I normally would do, but now I also know that I know way more people. Like if I would go out, I will probably meet people that I know.
You know anyway. Yeah.
But I think in the beginning, that's what's so nice about it as well, that I just went out, I got to know all these people, and everyone was just there to like dance, enjoy that music, and that's how we just like started connect together.
I've not really had any experience with that like Latino dance music scene in Sydney. Like I definitely would be up for it, but I've just never found myself in that situation. Yeah. What kind of places are they?
That was back in the days we used to go to Jam Gallery and I don't think they're open anymore in Bondi Junction.
Okay.
And then they used to have on Tuesdays, I think, they had like salsa nights in the establishment.
Oh, they still do?
They do?
They do.
Yeah, I haven't been in years because that was such a long time ago. Because now if I go out, it's mostly just to like different like house, disco, electronic.
Yeah, cool. And then I think I know the answer because I was actually talking to someone about you at the weekend, about someone who had been on the podcast or something. They asked me like who was going to come up, but where did the DJing start? Where did it come from?
Yeah, where did it start? No, so it's such a fun story. So me and my partner, we met here, right? And we both love traveling. We both love music. And we went to this, we've been talking about it for a long time, but we went to this festival in Croatia. And we were just like 3 days in, and then we were watching Hideout.
I went there for my 21st birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun, but that's like a 5-day festival. I cannot go for 5 days. It's like that's, I need my sleep. But yeah, that was fun. But yeah, when we were seeing, I think it was John Summit, and then we were like, fuck it, let's just go for it. Like,
John Summit played at Hideout.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I know. It was like Sam Divine on Summit. Who else was it? Yeah, it was a mix of Hot Since 82.
It's really funny that you just mentioned those two names, because everyone listening would be so fucking sick of hearing them. Because they're both quite like a significant part of the story for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a relationship with either of them, but I have relationships with people that have relationships with them, you know, and they've been a part of the story, like a big part of this story, and like subsequently doing the podcast. Yeah. So it's really funny that they're the two names that you referenced. So yes, you went to Hideout.
Funny. Yeah, I went to Hideout. But that was like the first European festival we've been to. So we just were traveling around for a bit, and we wanted to do one festival, and yeah, we did that. And then while we were there, we were like, let's just go for it. Like, let's this be the year that we just get started and go for it.
Your boyfriend DJs too?
So he taught himself, so he could teach me how to DJ. So that's how it started, basically, because we work as a team, and he's literally the one that is like keeping me on my toes and like wants me to succeed in that way. So yeah, he taught me. So it was like, you know, instead of doing Netflix and chill, we were just doing like lessons at home, you know. And I was so resistant in the beginning, you know, when you're like so uncomfortable and don't want to learn something new. And I was just like I don't understand, you know, so many buttons or whatever and all this stuff.
Did you ever have any like friends that DJ'd or anything at home, or like or is it completely new to you?
I mean, I've had, but I haven't been like hanging around it.
So
it's not like I've been hanging with people and they've been like playing, but I have a lot of friends that DJ.
No, I'm joking.
But yeah, so that's how it started, and then we were like, okay, let's just go all in with this. There was like a few house parties, but that was like 2 or 3 weeks after, so it was like straight into it, you know. And then at that party, someone saw me, and then he was like, oh, I want to book you for this. But I think the whole thing actually started when someone posted on their Instagram that they were looking for a DJ. And then my partner said, you have to write and say that, like, hey, you're a DJ and that you're available.
And why was, sorry to interrupt, why was he not, he was doing it too, wasn't he? Why wasn't he going to do it? Why did he want you to do it?
He wanted me to go first. He really wanted to push me, you know.
Yeah.
And like he still was doing gigs, and he's still like doing some gigs. But I think now he's focusing on like producing music, and like wants me to
play it.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. But and then I actually wrote to that guy. In the beginning, I was just like, no, I cannot write. Like, I've never done a gig. Like, I cannot say that I'm a DJ. You know what I mean? Like, selling yourself. But yeah, that's exactly what I did. So I just slided in that DM. Was like, hey, I'm a DJ from Sweden. You know? But I think, and then I got booked for that boat party. And that's how it started. I did like loads of different boat parties. And from that, people just started seeing on Instagram. And they were like, oh shit, you're DJing. It just like everything have happened really, really fast. Like my whole like DJ phase has been so fast. But I'm loving it. Like I'm having the best time, to be honest.
I'm going to cut this out.
Yeah.
Did you not do your shot?
No.
Someone told me at the weekend you did your shot.
Whoa, I've never done that.
Isn't that so funny?
Oh, that's hilarious. No, I've never done it.
Oh, so my boyfriend has been so excited thinking that you've just popped up out of nowhere because you've done your shot, and he's in your shot right now. And I've been telling him, oh my God, Bella.
I think I put that in there.
No, I'll cut all that.
No, but I mean, that would be
cut
hilarious.
this out.
But you will be asking me that question, be like, oh, so you were in your shop.
But now my reaction, well, I've got it here.
Yeah.
I don't need to re-say it. That's so funny.
That is so funny.
Oh my god, okay, now I have even more questions.
Oh my god, that is so funny. But yeah, no, that's not me. It must be someone else.
That's so funny. I feel like proper G'ing him up, like, oh. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously he also follows you on Instagram and everything. Because he's doing your shop.
Oh, okay,
we'll talk about that after.
Yeah. That's so funny.
It is funny. Because I was just like, why should I say it?
No, okay. Yeah, but that's not. Yeah. That's
okay,
not my
cool.
story.
Okay, wow. So you really did pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Really? And how long ago was all of this?
Like 1.5 years ago.
Wow.
In September, it will be like 2 years since I started to practice.
Yeah.
And then I had my first gig on that December. And then from then, like, literally just been like in a rocket.
And so just to wind it back a little bit, so you've obviously been a dancer, but I know how it goes. People have the craziest of careers. They could be a bloody dentist and they come over here and work in a bar. What did your like actual working, obviously we've got farm work, you know, farm work is farm work, but what was your instant work like until you were doing all of this? Like, were you working as a dancer? Were you doing other jobs? Like, how did it look for you?
Yeah, I've been doing like freelancing jobs for, as I told you, for like 9 years now. So with the dancing scene, it's a bit hard because it's not that many jobs. You know what I mean? It's constant like auditions, self-tapes and all that stuff. Some modeling, choreographing, I sing as well, but like, so a lot of like musical theater auditions and stuff. But on that side, I've also been doing like retail. But that has been, the past year, it's been like twice a week. Yeah. But for now, it's just full-time DJing.
Wow.
It would just like any other freelance job that comes up to it. Like I'm still doing modeling, dancing and all that.
Yeah, okay.
It's just that the DJing is what's like taking up all my time.
Yeah, that's so cool. So you did that. You obviously were doing your modeling, other freelancing stuff. 1.5 years ago, you got your like gigs and stuff. But what do you think it was? Because there's obviously like a lot of aspiring DJs in Sydney. Mm-hmm. A lot of them like are really well known and they still have like a full-time day job. What do you think it is that's been like, is it the music you play, is it the vibe, you know, people just like, because there's obviously a lot of people that listen to this that are in that position, like where do you think your like success has come from?
It's a hard one, but I think it's a mix of things. It's all like, it's such a hustle, like you gotta hustle, you know, to get where you're at. It doesn't come for free. Like you have to get to know the people, support other like businesses or artists as well. Like for me, I feel like the support is the most important. And just like going to different events, explore what music you like. I obviously love to perform as well. So I think that have helped me in a sense as well to get more bookings.
Because you're used to being on stage and
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I actually saw a video of you from the weekend and I was like, you look like you're having a great time, a really good time. But that's what you want to see on stage. You don't want a DJ that's there like not interacting with the crowd. That's half of it when you think about it. You know, like look at Fisher. Like he's a performer on stage and the people love it.
Yeah, you know? It's so much fun though. Like I see so many opportunities and it's, now I'm just riding the wave. Like since I started, I've just been riding the wave, you know, and just taking everything as it comes.
That's just me in life.
Yeah.
Just like roll with it. I'm like a really structured kind of organized person, and I realized the more you try and map stuff out in your head, the more it just won't go to plan and you'll just end up upset or stressed or, you know, get down in the dumps if things don't go the right way. Whereas if you just go with the fucking flow, then I've been great ever since I changed my mindset and went with that, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
So how's it going for your boyfriend also? You say he's more looking into the producing side of things?
Yeah, he is. But he's also like my manager. It's hilarious, but we work as such a team and it's so easy. We do a lot of things together. When we do like posters or like anything that is basically behind the scenes, he's helping me with. Like he's my personal videographer now in every gig because he's always there to support, you know. So now we're just doing that whole journey together as well, which is so fun.
Yeah, he must love watching you up there performing and stuff. It must be so fulfilling for him as well.
Yeah.
You know, I'll probably, if my boyfriend gets anywhere with it, I'll probably be the exact same thing, but in reverse, because you are like, you're a team. Like, you know, I feel like couples who enjoy music together have a different kind of like connection, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I love going out with my boyfriend. We have so much fun. So much fun. Like, always the last two people out, like, you know, usually like a couple, it's like the boy going out all night and it's causing arguments, this and the other. Like, we're rocking in the front door together, like, you know, whatever time, and it's great.
Love that.
Yeah,
No, but it's
so-
fine. I think it's important to have someone that supports you. It doesn't matter if it's like a partner or a friend, anyone really, someone that inspires you and someone that like supports and pushes you. And I think that's why I've gotten to the point where I am as well, because I don't think I would have been otherwise if he wasn't like constantly pushing me, or, you know, like trying to reach my limits and go further.
And what's been a situation where you've really, like, since you've had the kind of breakthrough, would you say? Sorry, I don't know how to phrase it. Like, what has been an instance where you've been really like, fuck this, like, I don't want to do it. Like, have you...
I mean, the full-time thing started like 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So it's very fresh.
Still in the honeymoon phase with that.
Yeah, exactly. So I haven't got that point yet. Like, I would say I'm a big hustler. Like, I like to work. So even though my schedule is usually always very packed with different stuff to do, and it's always like things to do. So now on my days off, it's not really my days off, you know. I'm always like looking for new music, or, you know, going through my list of things to do.
Yeah. And how many gigs, like, typically since the full time, and I know it's how long is a piece of string because every week is different, but how many gigs do you do a weekend, or a week even?
Normally like between like 4 to 5 gigs.
Wow. And what's obviously a different array of places? Do you do some bar gigs and some live gigs? And
so that's mixed every week, so it's different bars and clubs every week.
Where's your favourite club to play in Sydney?
My favourite club, honestly, I love Club Above for the production.
Yeah.
Like, because the space is a huge production, you have all the lights, and like, it's just like everyone's so professional there, you know what I mean? And also because I love to perform, it's such a nice space for me, and because I'm a resident there, I get to try and explore more of my stuff, which is fun. I've also been loving to do like the studio because I like the intimacy.
I love the studio.
Yeah,
it's such a great club. It's got really good sound in there too, I find.
Really good sound, and I like that it's so intimate. Like, it's always people there, you know.
Cozy.
Yeah,
it's cozy, and everyone seems to be in a great mood. It's just like, I don't really have any experience with like the old King's Cross or any of that kind of stuff. No, so for me, that's been one of the few places I've gone out there and I've really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. So you play, what event do you play there at? Or just a mix?
Yeah, I've been there monthly, so once a month.
Okay,
on like a Saturday.
Yeah, nice. And is it for a particular event, a particular promoter, or the venue itself?
The venue itself, yeah.
Okay, cool, nice. And then, Club Above, obviously. I know a few people that'd be grateful for your lovely, kind words there, the people behind the production. But yeah, it is incredible. Club Above, I think, has just had its... No, it only just had its first birthday in April.
Yes.
I think Sonny Fodera was
I was the one that handed him the...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On the first birthday? Oh, that's so cool. How random. What was that like?
Oh, that was sick. Because then I had the second time slot, which I had one time before Jaded in Halloween. And that was like a crazy adrenaline rush, you know? That was like full house. You know, everyone's just ready to go. And I could pump it up way more, which was so fun. And then in that Sonny gig, it was sold out. So it was just crazy vibes. And then also him coming there to the stage. He was like 5 minutes late or something. So then I was waiting there and was like, okay, like, is it time now? You know, like looking back all the time. And then he came on. He was huge. He was so big. I felt like a...
You mean in like height?
Yeah. But I was like so tiny next to him, you know. I was like, hello.
Oh my god! And did you have like because I always, there's a few like DJs that I'd be friendly with in Sydney, and they put up posts when they hand over the decks or take the decks from someone like a big artist, so like closing after them or handing to them. It must be quite a surreal feeling.
Yeah, and that's why it's also so funny because when we were in Hideout, he was also playing. So it was like a full circle moment. Like from that festival when we decided that I was going to start DJing. He was playing. And then, as I said before, John Summit, which is also like another crazy connection, because last week I played for Chris Lorenzo in Ivy. And then his videographer, we chatted with them afterwards, and he was like, I'm coming back here for Listen Out, and I'm gonna shoot John Summit and Subfocus. And I was like, oh, I'm playing and Listen Out. And he was like, okay, sick. You know, like, I'll make sure you meet everyone. And yeah, it was really nice.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I feel like the words are colliding in such a...
Oh my God, I absolutely love full circle moments, and I'm like manifesting a few of them myself, because it's just, and that's the thing, I don't know, is it life in general or is it just the music industry, but there is so many connections. You'll meet people and there's this story and that story, and it's just like all these weird things, and there's actually been a few things people, as they've started talking to me, they've realized themselves about their own story, and they're like, oh shit, you know. Yeah. It's really cool.
It's so fun. And I think like the funniest story, I think, also is like how I even got DJ gigs from the beginning, or like how I even got into Ivy is because of One Hit Agency, right? But it was hilarious because we went to this event, Callie was playing, and we thought he was like the famous. So we came to see Colombo, his name was, and we thought that Callie was Colombo. So when he came on, we were like when Callie was playing, we were like, oh my God, who is this guy? Like, he's amazing. And we thought he was like the headliner. But then we couldn't find him anywhere on Instagram. So I had to be like searching up on Instagram afterwards. I mean, like, who was this guy playing, you know? And then found
When did you realize it wasn't the person that you thought it was? Because you obviously would have gone to that person.
Yeah, I went into Columbus, and then I was like, oh, that was the other guy. Before. So funny.
Does Callie know this story?
Yeah.
He does. I was going to say, if he didn't, that would be amazing.
No, but it's hilarious. I've told him about this. But then after that, One Hit Agency had this... so we saw that he was doing events for One Hit here and there and stuff. And then it was so random, but we saw One Hit Agency, and then they had this TikTok competition. Basically like, oh, if you start following us on TikTok, you can win free guest lists for a whole year or something like that. And I was like, sweet, I'm just gonna enter, whatever. I won that thing. So one guy from One Hit, he reached out to me on Instagram. He was like, oh, like, you won this competition, like, you have free guest lists for a whole year, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, amazing.
Was this before you DJ'd?
Yeah, this was before.
Oh, hang on, this is a crazy story. Oh my God,
so funny.
So good.
Yeah, so this was just before like the whole DJing thing. And then I started to DJ. So every time I wanted to go to an event that they did, I was just like writing to him on Instagram, and he put me on the list. And then...
How much did you use it?
It was maybe like 3 times before he saw that I had started to DJ. So it was not that many. But then he saw that I started to DJ, and he was like, wait. And he was like, I think I can put you on for one of our events. And then he got me to host a whole room by myself when they did the Mardi Gras on Burdekin.
Oh, wow.
And that was so sick. And at that time, I was like still such a rookie, you know, like God. So in the beginning. And that was so amazing. And then like a month after, I played my first Ivy gig.
Right place, right time.
Yeah.
That's so good. So good.
It was so weird how they were like connected, you know? It just happened so naturally.
Meant to be, babe. I love that stuff. That's a really cool story. When you won the guest list, was it for you and you plus one?
Yeah.
And how many times did you use it?
No, maybe 3 times.
Oh my God, is that it?
I think we used it like more, but obviously because we got to know them. Like,
then you didn't even need it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't need it for like that year, you know what I mean?
Oh my God, that's crazy.
It happened very fast. It was like, I'm very thankful in that sense that Brad saw something in me and that he wanted to like try for that. And then I got to know like the whole team in one hit, and it just happened so naturally, you know.
That's amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's so fun.
so fun. Have you ever actually had any like professional, did you then ever go and do like a course to like brush up or anything, or you just learn what you learn?
Yeah, I've learned what I learned.
Wow, yeah. That's so cool.
Like, YouTube is your best friend sometimes. Like, to be honest, when I had my first gigs, I was freaking out because we have an older deck, so we don't have the screen, and still need to use the computer. In the beginning, you know, when you come and use the CDJs, you're like, you know, like what, you know, you're freaking out a bit. But I think that's what helped me in a way to just get comfortable with it, to just throw yourself out there and just, you know, try while you're there and stuff. But yeah, it was just practicing a lot at home.
It's crazy. I realised only recently, one of my friends, because basically my friend Scott has DJ'd for like ages. He's the one that kind of kickstarted the whole thing. Then my housemate Bart, and then my boyfriend, and then like so many of my friends do it now because naturally you meet people in that realm.
Yeah.
And I just recently found out my friend Scott DJ's like blind. He doesn't even use screens.
Wow.
He just uses his ear.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I was like, that's amazing. Like, because that would just give you such a... Then when you do get the screens, it would just make things even easier, right?
100%, yeah.
You know? And so what's your favourite kind of genre? You touched on it before. Would it be the Afro housey soul?
I'm a mix. Like, my soft spot is definitely within the Afro scene. It could be like Afro, I like Afrobeat, Amapiano, Afro house. But I feel like the Afro house is growing into a certain way now. It's getting so huge right now. But for me, like, that's my soft spot. But I also love house, just house, tech house. More like whatever's groovy, to be honest. But I like the more like percussion vibes. Yeah, I just love so much music in general.
Yeah, that's so good. And the thing is as well is like once you start going down that avenue, the more time you can spend on it, the more you fall in love with it, you know? So like obviously you've now been able to get yourself to a point where you're doing it full time, so that's amazing because then you have even more time to spend listening to music, and then it just snowballs from there, you know?
And now it's just like finding my own sound, you know?
So, golden question. I think we had actually already teed this up, and then the day you responded to me, you remember it was weird because I reached out to you and said, "Hey, did you get my email?" But then you had actually already responded. You hadn't seen my follow up, so it was a weird coincidence. But then also that same day, you got announced on the Listen Out lineup. Yeah. So where did that come from?
Yeah, where did that come from? No, but that's such a blessing. Like, I'm so excited.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's huge. Like
they asked for me specifically for opening that festival.
So the curator of Listen Out reached out to Matt. Yeah, and the One Hit Agency guys. Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations. Big. I bet you're so excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be so sick. And just being there the whole day, you know, and just enjoying and like being able to create something now that I can do like my own vibe. Yeah, it's gonna be so exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be really fun. And how soon have you already started working on your set?
And not yet.
Is that something, a big one like that, you do in advance?
Yeah, 100%.
Not like record it, obviously, but plan it. You know, think about the vibe you want to do, and
100%. And also, I'm going to Europe for a month. So when I come back, I only have like a few weeks. So I also want to make sure that like I feel comfortable with the set and stuff. But I definitely have some ideas. But I'm gonna touch base on that like later on.
Yeah, definitely. Who's your favorite artist?
Like DJ or just in general? I love Frankie Rizzardo.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah. So that's like the kind of music that I'm vibing.
You know, recently, until like very recently, I had him and Frankie Wah confused. So I thought he was from like Northern England. And then I found out, and then I saw something the other day about the Netherlands, and I was like, what the hell? I was so confused.
You're like
so confused. Did you he was over here recently, wasn't he?
Yeah, in November.
Did you play or?
Yeah, I played for that event as well.
Yeah.
Not on the Ivy gig, but he did one in W, and that was sick. That was so intimate, and that was the first like event they did open for people there, and that was really
was that Brad's event?
No, that was One Hit's event, but they did Frankie Rizzardo on the rooftop. So it's the same as Brad, but it's just in November.
Yeah, okay. I'm yet to go to W. I would like. There's so many places that I haven't been, and it's like it's so easy to, especially when you're trying to have a bit of downtime, you're more likely to get drawn to an event at a place you know. Yeah, I find. Of course. So then. Yeah, it's more rare for me to go to new places, but also I need to do it more because you just meet whole different types of people, and like it's just I love it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. It's just so much fun. Like I started the podcast to try and explain to people like what it's like in the music industry, but it's honestly one of those things like you just need to come and experience it for yourself and really immerse yourself in it to understand like how incredible it is, because you just meet the best fucking people.
Yeah.
The best people.
Yeah.
You know.
And I love that the people love music here. Like, I feel like people go out for the music. And I didn't have that back in Sweden. Like, people just more go out and they get drunk, you know? But here I feel like people really go out to, like, they like the music, you know?
And you can tell that by the demographic of people you find at certain events. Like, I went to Armin van Helden a couple of months ago, and there was 18-year-olds there, and there was also 60-year-olds there, and everyone was there, sharing the dance floor, absolutely vibing, giving it socks, just having the best time. And that's when you know it's truly about the music, you know, when it's like the dance floor is pumping.
Yeah, 100%.
That was a good thing about Sutra last weekend. Like, I can't begin to tell you how many people were on that dance floor, and it was moving from left to right, like up and down, like everyone was just having the best time.
I love that.
Have you ever been?
No,
you have to go. You should definitely go before and then like aim to play there at some point, because
that's Sutra.
Yeah,
it's so hard for me to be up that late though.
Yeah, you're a bit banana.
It's so hard. I'm like, I need my sleep.
Yeah.
No, but if I'm gonna, I've been like lucky in that sense that I haven't been playing like that late sets yet.
What's the latest you've been playing?
Oh, like it's 2.
Yeah, that's still late though.
Yeah, that's still late. But I have a closing set in Ivy in July, and that's gonna be fun to like try that as well.
Has the artist been announced yet or not yet?
No.
Oh, cool, exciting.
Yeah. But yeah, so then I'll be closing, and that is until like 3:30-ish. Yeah. But that's gonna be fun, because then I can try songs that I normally don't get to play as well.
Yeah, and I think like once the right opportunities come your way, you won't be soon adjusting to it, you know?
Yeah, 100%. But I think, and also it's a good practice, because if you would play anywhere in Europe, or you know, like, then you start so late compared to here.
Have you, I'm gonna assume that you've only ever played in Australia?
No, so I...
Oh, Rob, that you never make assumptions. That's what you should.
So I played in Bali last year, and then in Sweden as well.
Wow, I was going to ask about Sweden, but I was going to again assume you hadn't yet. Where did you play in Bali?
In Old Man's.
Okay, I haven't been to Bali for a few years, but was it on the mainland or in Gili?
In Canggu.
Yeah, nice.
And we were just there for a week, so that was like a quick stop.
How did you get that gig? Did Matt put you in touch with someone?
No, so we were going to Europe for 3 months to travel, and at that time I was just like, let's just reach out to some places
and see. Was it fun?
Yeah, it was so much fun, but it was just fun because the guy running it, he literally put me on the day. Like, they were so lovely and had the best time, and hopefully play
there again.
More, yeah.
Cool. So you played in Bali, and then what was it like playing in Sweden? How did you get that one?
So they booked me far in advance. I think it was the same people had seen on social media, you know, that I was playing full on, and then I got a few gigs just based on that, and I played in my hometown and then in some other cities.
What was it like playing in your hometown?
It was
surreal, huh?
It was surreal, but also like mixed. I think like it was fun, but their music is very specific, so it was not my best gig.
Oh, so, how interesting! Yeah, because if it's not what if what you're vibing with isn't a thing over there, that's interesting. And
it's so interesting. And like, I did 2 parties, one day and one night, and day was amazing. Got so much good feedback, you know, people loved it. But I think they just expect you to be able to play everything.
Yeah.
So it was just what happened was, it was a miscommunication. They wanted full commercial, but they didn't tell me anything before booking me. They didn't give me any music brief, no vibe, like nothing. So they booked me months in advance. And then I was like, okay, sweet. Like, they obviously know what I'm playing. They see my SoundCloud videos and all that. But yeah, I got to the spot, and on the spot, you know, it was like, you have to swap the song now. And then I had to play different genres, and I was like, I don't play. Like, they wanted like Eurovision to Swedish songs to, you know,
and they didn't tell that with you in advance.
Yeah, nothing. So that was just crazy. A miscommunication, and I think they would learn from that as well, you know, like always have that music brief. But I think
Because I like a lot of artists, a lot of places, my friend does it a lot when he plays on boat parties. I do genuinely not think these people understand that you cannot just like get any song at any time. You have to have it on your USB. It has to be done.
Yeah, I think some people think it's like Spotify. You can just search up like whatever song. Like I have a lot of music, but it's just different. Like if you don't play a specific genre, you know, some people can play everything, but I'm more into like the electronic and house scene right now. So
oh wow, and how did that make you feel afterwards? Was it, did you find it disheartening or?
Yeah, it was one of the worst gigs I've had for sure. I think it got to me a bit because it's my hometown, so in a way, and it's a small town, so then you start to be like, oh, shit, you know, like I didn't want it to come across that way either. But it was just like I know it's not on me, it was a misunderstanding, but it's also like I'm playing in so many different places, I cannot get caught up on one thing. You just have to move forward. I know I'm still gonna have like bad experience as well. I've been so blessed that I've had only like good experiences so far. That's just been the only thing that's been like on the negative side of it. Well, that's not bad out of all the gigs you've played then, I suppose. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it was still good. Like I had such a good time. It was just it's just one of those things. Yeah, exactly. You can't win them all. Yeah, exactly. If everything went to plan, you would never appreciate anything, you know. Yeah, 100%. So that's good. And would it stop you playing there again, or would you give it another go for the right gig? No, I would give it another go. Yeah. But yeah, then just have to be clear on what the expectations are. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's good. And have you got gigs planned this trip? Yes, I do. They're still like getting finalized. But yeah, I have one that is set during a festival that is gonna be really fun. It's not on the like actual festival, but it's so it's basically a festival in Gothenburg. So everyone's traveling to Gothenburg during that time in August. So it's like all clubs around. What country is that? Huh? What country is Gothenburg? Oh, it's in Sweden. Oh, wow, okay. So it's a city in Sweden. Yeah, wow. So everyone's traveling for a few days there just to like go out basically. So it's festivals, different events, day parties, clubs. Like Miami Music Week? Yeah, but it's smaller. Smaller, but I wish I could go to Miami Music Week. Maybe next year. Yeah, we're thinking about going next year, but then we're also thinking about going to Burning Man, and they're too far apart to do them both at once. And I'm just like, babe, I just want to go everywhere. Like, I want to go to every festival in the world. I know. Yeah, don't waste any time. Oh, it's not the time I'm worried about; it's the money. Yeah, I know. I agree. So good, so good. Amazing. So it's very I don't know. I'm enjoying the story. It's nice. It's good to hear like. Obviously everyone like has struggles and stuff, and sometimes the harder it is the more you can appreciate it, but it sounds like you appreciate it regardless, and it's cool when things just go your way, you know. It's a nice feeling. Yeah, it's been such a crazy ride, you know, and I think I keep throwing myself into, I'm like such a yes person, you know, say yes to everything. But it's so fun because now I can pick and choose a bit like what I want to do, and just see wherever that will take me. So your boyfriend is always going with you to the gigs? Yeah, most of the time. Yeah. Otherwise, because like DJs, like in general, can become quite a lonely career. You know, you're doing a lot of traveling and stuff. But if he's there and essentially like working as your like unofficial manager, that's nice. You know. Yeah, that's nice. I think if it would ever come to the point where we would start traveling and stuff, he would definitely be going with me. Yeah, that's amazing. That's so cool. And then we've obviously got the big one that we've already discussed with Listen Out. Have you got anything else exciting that you can share in the pipeline? But now we will just wait and see. I think it will be a lot of fun things happening towards the end of the year as well. Yeah, absolutely. With festival season coming up and all of that kind of stuff. And where's on your bucket list to play, or who would you like to play with? 2 questions in one there. Sorry. Ooh. I would love to do Lost Paradise. Yeah? Like that festival. I'm pretty sure that's achievable. Yeah, like, I mean, yeah, that's definitely, like, I want to tick off that on the list. I want to go more frequently to Bali as well and, like, get more gigs over there. It's so close by. It's just, you can still have, like, a holiday, but still book in some gigs. I would love to do that. Don't you think it's so funny? So I've grown up in England, you've grown up in Sweden.
if people at home could hear me referencing somewhere that's a 6-hour plane ride away, close. Do you know what I mean? But it is close. Yeah, it is close. You know, and it's so funny how your mindset to all that stuff changes. Like so Newcastle is just down the road. Yeah, 2 hours away, just down the road. It's mad. Aussie terminology. I love it.
Yeah, no, here you would drive like 3 hours on a day, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, go on a road. Sometimes I drive like 2 hours, go for a walk, come back, like go on a hike or something with the dog, and you know, and it's mad. And like at home, you literally like
you're in another city.
Oh, you the night before you're going on a 2-hour drive at home. You're talking about it, and you're like, right, we'll take snacks. This you got it all planned out. Yeah. What time we're leaving? Here, you just get in the car and go for 2 hours just up the road for no you know. Mm-hmm. Some people would go to Newcastle and back, play that gig, and just come home. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. If they were like really busy or didn't want to make a holiday of it and they were purely going there for a gig. It's mad, huh?
Yeah, so
that's mad. Crazy. Well, that's all very exciting, and I'm super pumped to see where the wind is going to take you over the next couple of years. Yeah. What's your aspiration? Like, do you want to get into producing, or you're happy with the DJing for now?
No, we are already. Yeah, I'm already getting into the producing.
Like with your boyfriend, or like doing your own thing but together kind of thing?
Like, no, both. Yeah.
But would you release it as, you know, Bella and what's your partner's called?
Ilias.
One more time?
Ilias.
Would you know...
No, we would, like for now, I think we're just exploring the producing, and we're going to release it under my name.
And how are you doing the... Obviously, it's one thing to teach yourself to DJ, but how are you guys learning to produce?
He is full on in learning.
Really? Is he doing any courses or anything?
No, self.
Wow, I've had 2 people on the podcast pod recently, Justin Muscat and Bingle. Mm-hmm. Both. Justin's not doing it himself, but it's under his umbrella company, and then Bingle does it himself.
I see that he teach people.
Yeah, so it's interesting because but apparently there's not that many people that do it because it's quite obviously using Ableton. Yeah, apparently it's a bit of a Pandora's box in there.
Yeah, and for me it's so technical, like that's a different world to step into, you know. So for me now that's like about learning a whole new process. I understand music and I can like read music and like speak music in that sense, but when it comes to that technical thing, that's something that I need to learn. But I'm so ready for that, and Elias is so clever in that sense. He's such a fast learner that now we're like exploring that, and that's gonna be so much fun, and just trying to find what sound that I'm what
yeah, everyone always says that, and I can't wait. So my boyfriend is going through your shot at the moment, which I thought you were going thought that's where you came from, which is so funny. And he's gonna be so upset because I'm like, Bella's been here, Bella's been there, and she got through what I made up this whole story based on just one reference someone gave to me, and I said, oh, this is what I said, right? So she did your shot, and I've heard that a lot of promoters will go to your shot to kind of scout out up and coming talent, and I just assumed that Matt attended and that's where he found you. Oh, isn't that funny?
Yeah, that is so funny.
So he's been like, oh yeah, getting all G'd up, thinking that someone's thinking that in 12 months time he's gonna be the guy version of you.
Oh my god, yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, that was someone else.
Yeah, so funny. I'll have to find out who it was.
I know.
Obviously, it's a big thing. So there's a lot of people within the scene. A lot of people I knew about it because people come on my podcast 3 weeks in a row. Someone told me they did your shot, and I was like, what is it? And then it just happened to get announced. It was again all this weird timing. So I've been harping on about it, and then it came out, and I actually entered my boyfriend on it. I didn't even tell him because he wouldn't do it himself, so I just did it. And then
I love that.
Yeah, and now he's not coming on holiday with me because it's the dates clash. Yeah, but I'm go for it. It's a good opportunity. It seems.
And you can get to know so many people from that as well.
We can go on holiday anytime. We can go. Do you know what he said to the guy when the guy was like, "Oh, you sure about the dates and stuff? You're gonna miss your holiday?" And he said, "Oh, well, sure. If I play my cards right, I'll play at the festival next year."
Oh, I love that. I mean, you gotta have the confidence as well.
Confidence, charm, and fuck it. But really, there's no reason he couldn't. Play your cards right.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, I love he can just go for it, and then I think that's why I would never expect to be where I am at this stage so early on.
But it's great, just go with it. You've got the right
I love it, but that's what I mean. I think it's nice it's cool to see that whatever work you're putting into it actually pays off, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. And I think making sacrifices like that and biting the bullet and just going for it, you're never going to know if you don't put yourself in the right situation. So yeah, but that's so crazy the way you want the competition and the Cali thing, and like that's all connected. Like I absolutely love that shit. It's so good, so good. Well, as always, a bit conscious of time. Is there anything else you want to touch on, Han, before we wrap it up? Okay, so you went and did your farm work. You're obviously here during lockdown. Obviously, what kind of visas and stuff were you on? Was it hard for you? Because at the time COVID came around, I was already a permanent resident, or I was very close to it. So I didn't have that stress. Because obviously there was no, just for people's reference, if you were not a permanent resident or a citizen during the first lockdown in Australia and you lost your job, you had no income. There was no support for expats. In the second one, when they realised half the people in the country had left because they got screwed, essentially, then they offered the money to everyone because they needed people to stay, because I think they realised their whole workforce situation would have collapsed. Sorry to fill this very long-winded question. So what did you guys do? Obviously being in freelance entertainment industry, which obviously stopped.
Yeah. I mean, when the COVID thing was, we were doing full-time farm work and like to be able to stay in the country, and then when we did that, we came back to Sydney, and at that time that was just such a weird manifestation thing. Like that was, we had a moment when we were in a hostel in Cairns, and then the burlesque movie came on, on the whole hostel, and I was like, oh, like my dream is to be in a cabaret show one day, like I would love to do that. Got back to Sydney a month later, and then a guy called me and he was like, I'm putting up this cabaret show, I would love to have you in it. And I was just like, oh my god, it's just like we're colliding. And it was so funny that the whole manifestation worked in that sense. You said something out loud and it just happened. So then I started performing in that here in Sydney, and then the second lockdown came. Our visas were running out. And at that point...
So you did the cabaret show in Sydney?
In Sydney.
Yeah.
And then the second lockdown came, and we were in Sydney at that time, and then our visa ran out. So we were like ready to leave. Like we left Australia and thinking that we were not going to come back here. So we like said goodbye to everyone, you know, packed our life together. We moved back to Sweden for a year.
Can your boyfriend speak Swedish?
A bit.
Wow. That would have been hard for him.
Yeah. I know. He can understand, but it's hard to speak. But yeah, so we lived there for a year. That was such a crazy year in general, because that made us realize, like, we didn't think we were going to be able to come back to Australia. But after that year, he was doing his master in Sweden. And then we were like, we can do an exchange term.
He did his masters in another country that he can't speak the language.
Yeah, in Sweden.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because yeah.
That's crazy. Did they teach in English?
Oh yeah, so then you could pick.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise that would be
I was like,
hard.
That's crazy. I was like, is that the crazy part of the story?
Oh my god, yeah. Then he would be fluent by now. Otherwise, hilarious. But and that's how we saw an opportunity to come back here again, because he did an exchange term, and then I could jump on his visa as a partner. And then we got a free working holiday again because of COVID,
because you had to leave midway through.
Yeah, but we had like a week left on our visa, so we were like so lucky. So we had technically used the whole second year already,
and then they gave you another one.
Yeah.
Wow, babe.
But it's been a hustle.
Universe.
Oh my god, yeah. But it's been a hustle, and like now we're on a sponsored visa.
And what does your partner do?
Software engineer.
Oh wow, he's a busy man then. No wonder he's into the production and all that kind of stuff. He's got the brain for it.
100%.
You know, that brain,
he's so driven
with your creativity. That's perfect.
Yeah, it's such perfect. A good match.
Power couple.
Yeah, it's so fun. But in Sweden, it was also so random because they were putting up a musical at that time, and we came quite late in August, and I found out that they had an audition for this, and they had already had it. So I reached out to the choreographer of the show, personally and was like, hey, I saw that you guys are putting up an audition, like, can I please come? And like, I just moved back from Australia, and he said like no to the open audition, but they did a private audition for me instead. And then I ended up getting the part, which was crazy. So that was a musical, my first musical theater.
Wow. And how long was it for?
Like, the rehearsal period was quite long just because of COVID and stuff as well. It got a bit dragged out. But then we did an arena tour in Sweden. So it was like 25 shows, but it was just because we had like 10,000 people in one arena. So we had fewer shows instead of doing like 8 months contract, you know.
That's crazy. That's a stadium tour for a theatre.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It was so fun. And I loved being a part of that kind of production as well.
But that's amazing. So you did that, and then you obviously would have met a lot of people through that. What kind of part did you play? Were you a dancer?
Ensemble, so dancing and singing.
Wow.
So you're like a part of everything, you do everything, but you don't have like a specific role.
Okay. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's so fun.
So much fun. But then the year after, or like after we finished that, we came back here, and that's how we just like started this whole journey.
Wow.
So everything has been like, you know,
tick, 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 tick.
Yes.
Yeah. That's so much fun.
We've literally said like every year we've been like, okay, which has been the best year? And every year it just keeps getting better and better. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's good though. I feel like, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
27. I'm turning 28 soon.
When?
In September.
Oh, I was
not that soon.
Yeah, not that soon. I was going to say, it's my boyfriend's birthday on Saturday and it's mine in 2 weeks. So like, I didn't know. When you said soon, I was like, oh, maybe we've got the same birthday. So good. But honestly, for me, it's been like probably the last 5 years where I'm the same thing. Every year it's got better and better. Like, up until that point, I don't think I would have been like, oh my God, this is the best year ever, because you are hustling hard. Like, when you first move here, you've got no money, you've got no friends, and like, you just have to. But now when I sit back and reflect, and like, I've been here for 9 years and think about everything I've built, I'm like, that makes me happy in itself, and have the best fucking people around me. And I feel like every single week now I'm just meeting so many more and more amazing people, whereas for a long time I felt like I didn't meet anyone and I was stuck and I couldn't find what I was looking for. And now I'm like, I have found everything I wanted and more.
I love that.
All through the music, you know.
I feel like music connects everyone. Like, I feel like, is there a single person that does not like music? You know what I mean? Like, that feel...
Even in their own style. Like, you might not like the music that I like.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to be jamming over here to your stuff, and you might not be jamming over here to mine. Within the... There's always going to be a network and a community. And that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah, it's like, so amazing.
That's why live music is so incredible, because you kind of think you go to by yourself, you're instantly going to find people that are you have something in common with, because you like the music. All right, Han. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that with me. That was really fun. I absolutely love hearing those kind of stories, and it's just like nice connecting all the dots. And life is like a huge roller coaster, and ups and downs. But I think like you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and you certainly seem like you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And I'm so looking forward to seeing what's next. But do you have anything else you want to touch on before we finish up?
No, thank you for having me. I loved it. It was so much fun.
I look forward to watching your journey over the next few months, and see where the wind takes you.
Yes.
All right, thanks my darling. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you.